this is it. This is your highest value timeline, if you choose it to be so. It may not seem like it, but you're going to have to start being more authentic. And you're going to have to start to not shrink yourself in order to protect the people around you. But you also have to know how to play the game of life. And on semen retention, everybody's going to want to be you. You might not think that this is the case. You might think that this is placebo. You might think that it's not even real. I've tried it. I haven't experienced that. Maybe you're just not noticing enough. Maybe you're not really close to God enough. Or maybe you just lack faith in yourself. And maybe you just don't see the shining of the light within you emanating from your soul. And you have to stop performing. If you truly want to be on semen retention, and I'm not saying that this is what you should want people to want to be like you. Like, you shouldn't want people to want to be you. But people are going to want to be you. But they don't want the responsibility of you once they see your light. And once they see that what it takes to continue that which you need to continue. To maintain that which you need to maintain. They don't want to accept the responsibility of what it's like to be you. People will say that you did it based off of luck, or that you did it based off of your looks or your skills or your talent. And it's like, well, yeah, I had to have some skills and I had to have some talent and I had to take care of myself. I'm not this way because of just no reason. And you're not that way just of no reason at all. We have to recognize that there is more to us than meets the eye, and that some people are going to simply be changes in the timeline that you're in the high value timeline that you're moving toward or moving on to. You can just choose that you're going to be on the high value timeline. Now, what that looks like, it may not feel like a high value timeline in the beginning, but you can choose this. And especially with semen retention, and this is another Semen Retention Sunday episode with the Regal Change account. All the Regal Change old timers know that this is a Semen Retention Sunday special. We always do Semen Retention Sundays and videos on this account. And one thing that I think that many people contribute to SR and semen retention as a whole is that they idolize it, and they treat it as a god, and they treat it as this magical whatever to solve all their issues. And it's an avenue to do so. It provides you the spiritual tools to do so. It's not going to actually help you achieve, certain things like just magically. You have to actually still put in the work to do so, but it will enhance your abilities and it will enhance who you are. And that's why when you're actually being who you're meant to be and you're being who you're building yourself to be, a lot of people will not be able to handle your ambition. A lot of people will not be able to handle your ferociousness and your vitality and your virility of life. And they're going to be either envious or jealous. And you've got to be very careful with this, because not everybody's going to understand why you're moving the way that you're moving and where you're going. They're just not. But what they can understand, and what they will have to understand eventually, is that you have built yourself into the person that you've meant to be today because of the pain of yesterday, because of the struggles and the responsibilities that you've had to endure and to uphold and to carry yourself. People don't want to expect that you actually put in the work. They don't. And it's not because they are evil. They are simply NPCs that are a phenomenon of this reality, of this construct of reality. They are simply a phenomenon of life. They're not really real. Like, think about all the people that are going to be watching the Super Bowl tonight. They're going to be watching the game, drinking beer and eating chips and whatever, God knows what. Meanwhile, we're going to be working. We're going to be studying. We're going to be educating ourselves. We're going to be getting more information that's going to sustain our soul and our spirit. We're going to be caring about our futures. We're going to be caring about the life force within us and how we can move in the world through there to get to a better place. A lot of these people don't want us to see that. A lot of these people, they would rather us. Like, remember the Pink Floyd song, "The lunatic is on the path." Oh, wait. No, that's not the lyrics. The lyrics are like, "The lunatic is on the grass. We got to keep the lunars on the path." So we've got to keep the lunatic on the path. They think that we're lunatics because we're going out and touching grass and looking at the sun and chilling out and engaging in life and nature, while they're just glued to a screen, man. They're glued to a screen, drinking beer and participating in all this like psyop. Super Bowls are a psyop. Don't get it twisted. It's like 4 hours of millions and millions of people of a concentrated consciousness or emanating a certain signal to be proliferated through the subconscious so that they can start to act in a certain way. Like, I don't watch the Super Bowl, but I do pay attention to how people behave following the Super Bowl, and I pay attention to how people are acting in the confines of like the commercials, because you can think about those commercials as convergence opportunities for timelines, and they're going to do everything that they can to ensure that you're going to be converting to a timeline that is low value so that they can eat up and siphon your energy. That's the difference with you and being on SR and semen retention. Again, it's not a magic thing. It's not magic, but you can see the enhancements when you're actually being who you're meant to be. And yes, it doesn't mean that you're not going to go through hard times. It doesn't mean that you're going to be just perfect through life. It doesn't mean that at all. In fact, it means quite the contrary and the opposite, that you're going to be tested more than ever. And right before things get good, there's usually going to be a breaking point that you're testing on. And the key is to stay strong in spite of that. Well, how do you stay strong? Especially if there's like temptations or, you want to participate in what everybody else is participating in. How do you stay strong? Well, you remember why you're doing this. And you have to have your own why. I can't tell you what your why is, and you can't tell me what my why is. All that we can do is show people a potential way. We can't force them to believe anything. We can't force them to do anything. All that we can truly do is ensure that we're going to be examples of what righteousness actually looks like and what righteousness can actually be. Because abundance really is our natural state. It's not scarcity. And your nervous system is going to decide that. Your nervous system is going to decide whether or not you're actually living a more fulfilling life or not. And I've mentioned this many times on the Regal, like Regal Change old timers know this, that if you are someone who is in debt of any kind, it's better to be in financial debt than spiritual debt, because you might not have no financial debt, but you might have a lot of spiritual debt, and it may look like you're materially set, but maybe you're not. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're on a low value timeline, you don't even know it. And maybe the high value timeline looks like it's not a high value timeline because maybe you're in debt. Maybe you're in debt spiritually, financially and not spiritually. Maybe you're in debt financially and you're like figuring things out. Or maybe you're just in both spiritual and physical debt, like financial. You got to be mindful of this stuff. Because here's the thing, right? I've always found this to be strange, is that I don't need to have material things in order for people to be jealous of me. And the first time that I experienced this was in high school. Like when I first actually noticed it anyway, because I think for sure people before that were jealous of me in some regard, but I didn't really pay attention to it. I didn't really know what jealousy looked like because I was so focused on people pleasing to really know anything else or otherwise. I was a very assertive man. Well, there was an assertive man in me as a young boy, rather. There was an assertive man in me, and that was just like beat out of me. until I was in high school and then into early college years, and then I had to reincorporate that back. I mean, if you go look at my videos, the first videos that I've ever done on my YouTube channel, you'll see that my voice was a bit higher pitch and my eyes, they weren't quite as focused. You know, they kind of still had a semblance of like doe eyes, you know, kind of like the world is happening to me and not I'm forcing something into the world. I'm imposing my will in regard to what I can control into the world. I'm not trying to make things happen just because I'm trying to force other people to believe me. I am imposing my will as far as I can in regard to what I can control within my reality and the confines of that, because I understand that I am not the fabric of reality. I am not the fabric. I am something beyond that. I am beyond that which is perceived to be in this material world. We are so much more powerful than the elites want to give us credit for, and what other people want to give us credit for as well. We're so much more powerful. We're so much more potent. And all it takes is to truly consider the fact that maybe, just maybe, you can break free and you don't have to believe everything that you've been taught. Like the Super Bowl. And this is going to make people angry with you sometimes because they're going to want to be you. Again, they want to be you, but they don't want to have to go through your suffering or responsibility to get there. And you have to recognize that your tune is going to attract the people into your life. Your tune is going to be like a goon or not a goon. Like you're going to be someone who arrives soon with your tune, or you're going to be placating yourself among the goons. That's kind of silly, but you get the point. So be mindful of this kind of stuff, be wary, but don't necessarily think too much on it. Don't consider yourself to be just another whatever. You're here for a reason. And although in the grand scheme of things, yeah, like maybe we don't remember certain people who have continued our bloodline and to help us be to where we are today. Maybe we don't know their names, but it doesn't mean that they didn't matter, right? So you do matter. And maybe people won't remember who you are. Maybe people won't remember exactly what you did and what you didn't do. But what's important is that you continue the work. You continue the process. You continue the life through you. You let your life emanate through you. And that takes letting go of performance, letting go of trying to earn your way to God's love. You don't need to earn your way to God's love. You just have it. Salvation is a gift. Like the Ephesians says, salvation is a gift. And this is something that you can choose to accept, or that you can stay stuck in a time loop for and stay stuck on a low value timeline, or you can choose to be on a high value timeline. So with all that being said, I hope that you all enjoyed another Semen Retention Sunday episode here on the Regal Change account. People, stay blessed, peace, and until next time.